Today is Tuesday, the 17th day of the Omer, which is 2 weeks and 3 days, and it's under the heading of Tiferet Sheba Tiferet, which means glory or compassion within glory or compassion. So Tiferet Sheba Tiferet is the heading of today. We're going to be learning from Pirkei Avot, from the second chapter, the Mishnah Yud and Yud Aleph. Hem amru shelosha devarim. We're speaking here about the students of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and they said 3 things. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Rabbi Eliezer says, Yehi chevot chavercha chavin alecha keshelach. That your fellow's honor should be as dear to you as your own honor. We're not talking here about a person who has disrespect for himself, but rather the same way that a person, typically the average person, has respect for himself. He wants to be treated in a certain manner, the same way the honor, the respect of your fellow should be as dear to you as your own. And so be very careful not to offend other people, not to tell them things that would hurt their feelings. And don't be angered easily. Don't anger easily. And some commentators connect these 2 statements as one. In other words, how do you make sure that the honor of your fellow is as dear to you as your own honor? Is by not being easily angered. Because when a person gets angry, he can act in a way that is disrespectful toward others. He might express himself in words that will be very hurtful. So therefore, to keep the honor of your fellow as dear to you as your own honor, don't anger easily. Actually, in other places, in the Gemara it says that a person who gets angry, it is as if he worshipped Avodah Zarah. So serious it is, this tendency to get angry easily is a great thing. So don't anger easily, and that way you'll be also respectful of the honor of your fellow. Veshuv yom echad lifnei mitatcha, and repent one day before you die, before your death. And a person would never know when that would happen, and therefore it should always be in teshuvah, just like Shlomo HaMelech said that your clothing should always be white. What does it mean, always be white? Always be pure, always be in teshuvah, so that any unexpected situation where a person might become sick or might die without having done teshuvah, that would be unfortunate. So therefore, always be in a state of teshuvah, and do it one day before you die. And just like you never know when it could be, you should be always in a state of teshuvah. What does this mean? It means that you should always get warm next to the fire of the sages. Get close to the sages, learn from them, absorb from their advice. Chachamim, the wise people who've learned Torah, have a lot to contribute to people around them, so come close to them and learn from them. However, but be careful from their glowing coals that you will not get burned, just like the same way you might get warmed by a fireplace, but if you get too close, you might get burned. So the same way also, you have to be very careful as you learn from the Chachamim and you're close to them and seek their advice, that you don't get so overly friendly with them to act just like a simple friendship, because then you might, through that, come to be in a certain way disrespectful, and then you might get burnt by their coals, because being disrespectful to the sages would entail certain repercussions, just like it says here in the Mishnah, sheneshichatan neshichat shu'al, because their bite is like the bite of a fox, which is very painful and is difficult to disengage the teeth of the fox. And their sting is the sting of a scorpion, and their hiss is the hiss of a snake, of a serpent, and therefore be very careful as you get close and learn from them not to be doing anything that would be disrespectful, because these would have the effect of a negative repercussion. And all their words are like burning coals, like fiery coals. The Hachamim explain that this means that not to dispute their rulings, assuming that you might know more and that you might be able to issue against what they said on your logic, because typically a person would make a mistake. Their words are like fiery coals, and their rulings, the rulings of the Torah, of their Hachamim, are based on Torah knowledge, which burns inside of them just like a fire, because many times the Torah is likened to fire. Like the Pasuk says, Mimino esh dat lamu. So therefore the ruling of our sages that we learn in the Mishnayot, in the Gemarot, and that we learn from our Hachamim, are rulings that are based on the Torah, which is like fiery coals, and don't underestimate or dispute them or assume that you may know better. The next Mishnah, Mishnah Yud Aleph, Rabbi Yoshua Omer, Ayin Hara, the evil eye. What is the evil eye? It has two meanings. Either Ayin Hara, a bad eye, is an eye that is never satisfied. A person that always wants more. He's never satisfied, never satiated. He always wants more and more and more, and typically in material or physical. That's one explanation. The other explanation is a person who's so jealous from others and looks at them in a very envious way. That will be also Ayin Hara, and that way it could cause a negative impact on the fortune of others. Or if it's about Ayin Hara, meaning that a person is never satisfied, that also is something very negative. Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, such a inclination that is present and in everybody that has certain desires, certain lusts, certain things that either not permitted and a person has a desire for them, or even when they're permitted, that a person wants to overindulge in them. That's also Yetzer Hara. V'sinat haberiyot, and hatred of other people, either a person hating other people and feeling bad towards other people and having animosity towards other people, or the way that he acts with other people causes them to hate him. That also is another explanation. All these three things, Ayin Hara, Yetzer Hara, V'sinat haberiyot, evil eye, the Yetzer Hara, evil inclination, and hatred of people, Motzi'in et ha'adam min ha'olam, they would remove the person from this world, and a person should stay away from these negative character traits. This was the Pirkei Avot for today. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.